Well, a very good evening. Welcome to the Derwent Entertainment Centre here in Hobart, Tasmania for Sal's NZ NBL action on a Thursday night. We've got the Southern Huskies at home to the Canterbury Rams. These two teams are yet to meet in the competition in season 2019, but will meet 3 times in the next 8 days. Exciting stuff. Sort of an NBA final series sort of set up. Joining me in commentary tonight is former NBL star Mark Nash. Good evening, Nashy.
G'day, Brent. Great to be here. It's a huge 3-game series for both these teams, and really interesting reading the fast facts during the week. The end line was who's the pretender and who's going to be the contender.
We'll certainly find out in a week or so's time, because this will have an impact on the top 4, you would think. The Huskies sneaking in there after last weekend, after a couple of good wins on the road, including a magnificent 24-point comeback against the Super City Rangers. Had a good win as well against the Airs on the Friday night. What did you make of that road trip, Nashy?
Look, it was a good couple of wins. Certainly in the second game, had their moments being down big at quarter time. But we're able to fight back after half-time. Got going in the second quarter there, and then down the stretch, Marcel Jones, Craig Moller, Trey Nichols really got the job done for the Huskies. So Anthony Stewart and his coaching staff will be really happy coming away with that. But this is a really big couple of games, or 3 games. Interesting hearing Stewie talking about the Huskies yet to beat a team, Brent, who's above them on the table.
That's exactly right. So it's a big moment for them, isn't it? But gee, they've got some confidence about them at the moment, the Huskies. Anthony Stewart, though, very quick to say, certainly not becoming complacent, especially when you're running into a good team like this, the Canterbury Rams, who are going very, very nicely indeed this season. 7 wins and just the 2 losses, but they haven't had to travel outside of New Zealand just yet, so this will be a big test for them tonight. Yeah,
it's a huge test for the Rams. They're very well coached with Mick Downer, who we've talked a bit about during the week, Brent. He's been with the Brisbane Bullets for the last few years. Prior to that, the Cairns Taipans in the Australian NBL, and the Perth Wildcats, who are one of the great Australian franchises in any code. And Mick's also been around the Australian Boomers, so an outstanding coach. They'll be very well prepared. A couple of their big stars, Cam Glidden, who's in the Australian Boomers squad. I like to refer to Cam Glidden as probably the Australian Clay Thompson, just a guy that moves really well off the ball, has an amazing shooting stroke and technique, and he's a real feature of this Rams outfit.
We're here in Australia tonight, but we do have one eye across the ditch at the moment because the Taranaki Mountaineers taking it right up to the Wellington Saints, just 3 points in it in the last term. That would be one of the bigger upsets of the season nationally if the Airs can pull that one off.
It certainly would, and Wellington are really the superstar team. They've added Thomas Abercrombie during the week, who's no bigger name in New Zealand basketball than Abercrombie. So look, that's a huge game right now, and I think all the basketball fans outside Wellington would be cheering the Airs on.
Mentioned a couple of wins for the Huskies last weekend. Marcel Jones, player of the week, had a great couple of games and really shone back in New Zealand, where he's been such a good player for a long time.
Yeah, look, he's averaging 22.5 points a game and over 13 rebounds a game. So just a double-double machine. Anytime he steps on the court, he's a smooth operator. I saw a couple of those one-handed rebounds on the road and putting the ball on the floor, leading the fast break situation. So, look, he's a guy with a tremendous amount of talent. And I think over the last couple of weeks, the Huskies have really worked him into their system. And it's been much more effective than early on, just trying to find their spots on the floor.
What about the man on the screen right now? Jalen Billups had one of the great dunks you will see last weekend. Almost killed someone. He was going through that quickly, and speaking to him during the week, trying to play it down, but you can't in that situation. It was one of the great dunks.
Yeah, look, it was, and he's referred to the Beast, and he's living up to that reputation in this league. He's really taken the Souths NBL by storm this year, and down low, he's just an outstanding finisher in the paint. I think he's well over 60% on his 2-point field goal attempts. Probably the only weakness really is just consistency from the 3-point shot, and it's been really good to see that he hasn't been relying on that too much. But over 24 points a game and just a tick over 8 rebounds a game for the Beast.
Who gets the job on him tonight, do you think? Because the defense of the Rams is pretty good, isn't it? Probably the best in the competition almost.
Look, it is, and that might be a job for Wilkins to start with. He might get that matchup just with that athleticism, but I think the Rams will probably look to front Billups in the post to maybe not allow him to catch it, because when he does, it's pretty much 2 points every time. So I'd expect them to really look at putting pressure on the ball on the perimeter, front the post, and then try and steal the ball when it's in flight.
Mick Downer on screen there. As you mentioned, Nashi, a very nice resume for him in basketball circles. So no doubt Anthony Stewart will have a tactical battle on his hands tonight as well, won't he?
He will, and that's what I really love about this league, is not just the quality of talent on the court, but the quality of talent in the coaching ranks, and guys like Paul Hanari, and we've got Judge Flavel as well, who's in the Australian NBL system. So some real outstanding coaches, and this game will no doubt be a battle both on the court but also on the sidelines.
Last game in Hobart for the season tonight. Nice crowd building as well. Still 3 games to come in Launceston, including this one coming up on Saturday night, a return bout against the Rams for the Huskies. Their home record though, Nashi, they've won the last one here against, who was it the other week we had here? I can't remember now, but a good win in front of their home crowd.
It was, and they've been starting to really recognise the importance of getting those wins at home, and have done a good job protecting their home floor. Had some tough games early on, the likes of Wellington and Southland coming to Tasmania, but tonight is, I'd say, the biggest game of the season for both of these sides.
Crowd get to their feet here as we await the first points from the Huskies. not too far from a start. Thursday night Souths NBL NZ action coming to you live from Hobart, Tasmania. Should be an absolute beauty. As we said, these two teams playing 3 times over the next 8 days. Mike Karina and Jalen Billups to get us underway. And off we go. Billups gets first use, but it's straight to Glidden. And he will be one the Huskies have to stop tonight.
Yeah, Cam Glidden just doing a nice job of recognising that, just stealing the ball in the air there, and first possession here for the Rams. Let's see what they can draw up on the out of bounds play here. It's really a dangerous situation when you've got a guy like Cam Glidden inbounding the ball, is not to go to sleep on that inbound, because he's going to be moving, coming off some screens, looking to get open.
Tolliver with the basketball. And now Wilkins just goes in and gets the 2.
Yeah, again, this has been a challenge for the Huskies, just staying in front of their player, not getting beat off the dribble. And then also as they get into their defensive rotations, guys have got to be prepared to step up early and take away that space in the paint.
Trey Nichols to Bragg. And now Jones into the beast mode. Jalen Billups back out to Jones. Has a look from 3. Not this time, as Glidden gets the board.
And you can see the Rams really looking to push here. We've got Emmett Nair on the wing. Didn't talk a lot about Emmett Nair pre-game, but an outstanding college resume, playing at St Mary's.
And Wilkins again just with the fade away, and Billups with the big board. Mason Bragg with the ball carrying duties. Crowd still on their feet here at the Doon Entertainment Centre, waiting for those first points to drop. Nichols inside to Jones, the player of the week in the Souths NZ NBL. Just loops it up, can't get it to fall though.
Yeah, and sometimes that standing can put a little bit of pressure on the home side, just with the fans on their feet, but they like that call.
Yeah, travel call. So Huskies ball on the sideline as they patiently wait for these points to drop. Nashi, you remember this from the Devils days, and
yeah, that's right.
Sometimes took a little while.
Yep, bit of clapping on the side, and you know, a lot of the players come out, they're early, they're getting the first touch. You know, everyone's keen to get a first basket as well.
Trey Nichols from downtown, no. Big board from Karina.
And just the temptation as well from the Huskies not to live too much on the three-point line early. You can see that the Rams have really been putting pressure on, off the dribble, trying to get points in the paint. You can see Glidden go for the mismatch here with Nichols in the post.
Oh, nice pass in from Glidden, but it's out to 3. Wilkins. And he's put his foot out of bounds there as Tolliver, so it'll be a Huskies ball. Anthony Stewart just giving a few instructions to Marcel Jones.
You can see a little bit of three-quarter court pressure here in the trap from the Rams, but the Huskies navigate that nicely.
Here's Moller, goes to the base. Doesn't work for him, gets it to the top of the arc to Bragg. Mason Bragg, and now Billups. He's so good from here, not this time though. Yeah, that's still waiting for these points to drop, Dashy.
And that's the third three-point attempt from the Huskies, just over 2 minutes into the game, and they're just looking a little disconnected and on offense, so really important for them to get back to basics here.
Bragg, he does this so often, drives in, draws the foul that time around. So it'll be a sideline ball here for the Huskies. Here's the replay on your screen now. You just see the foul taking place there. So Marcel Jones brings it in. Nichols. It's been so consistent for the Huskies. Moller, the captain, goes in and gets it to 4. And Nashi's been so reliable with these three-point plays. It's become a real big part of his game.
He has. You know, he's been doing a lot of work on finishing and looking at that to be something that he can take into his Australian NBL game, really trying to be attacking the basket aggressively. And he has done a fantastic job of that, and now has the opportunity to knock down the three-point play here.
Craig Moller signing with the Sydney Kings in the Australian NBL a month or so ago. Speaking to his parents pre-game, Nashi, they're awaiting his arrival back into Sydney. Looking forward to having their boy back home.
Yep, it's always a good story for any team, you know, whether it's in Australian city, New Zealand, wherever they might be, when you had a hometown player comes home, and nothing better than playing in front of friends and family.
Karina missed the shot there. Back out to Glidden. He's so dangerous from here, but just rolls off the rim there, and it might stay with the Rams. It does.
Yeah, the Huskies certainly don't want to give Cam Glidden too many open looks. Moller did a good job of just getting a hand there, and that 6'9" frame coming out with the dreadlocks, Brent. It's definitely off-putting, no doubt, when you're shooting.
No doubt about that at all. So Glidden gets it back into Nah. And now Glidden back to Nah. Shot clock's counting down 3 seconds. Umpire's blowing the whistle there. Looks like it'll be a Huskies ball.
And it is quite rare to see that 3-second call these days. Referees tend to let that go, but Wilkins was obviously camped in there for a while, and the Rams looking to run a lot of ball screen action on either side of the floor. And again, with this pressure.
Yep, Mason Bragg just lost it there, unfortunately. And now a big play from the Rams sees Glidden get 2.
Yep, and we can see again they're straight into this. They look to trap just either side of the half court. They look like they've gone back to straight man-to-man defense here.
Trey Nichols, Moller, Billups. So huge first halves, Jalen Billups. Can he get his team going here? Just a big shot, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Isaiah Wilkins. And now having a look at it is Sam Smith, rolls out. Here's Trey Nichols. It's about 1-on-3 here, but gets blocked in the end.
Yeah, just that deceptive height and athleticism of Cam Glidden. He's got some length on him, and he's certainly a good athlete.
He does, doesn't he? When he had that play a moment ago, when he has that reach,
yep,
quite long. Here he is. Now Wilkins. And now Smith again. Wilkins thought about the 3, goes for it in the end and sinks it. So good start here from the Rams.
It is, and let's just see what sort of defensive structure they go for here. Just again, just containing the ball, and again, we talk about Mick Downer, but these guys are going to be very well drilled at the defensive end.
Yeah, they certainly look at home here at the moment. The Rams. Marcel Jones goes with a fadeaway 3 and misses the lot.
Yeah, and again, we see the difference just with the Huskies at the moment. I mean, there's opening 5 minutes of the first quarter, just not really getting through their offense. It's too much individual play. Part of that's the defensive pressure from the Rams, but also the Huskies need to get organised, huddle up on loose balls, and play to their strengths.
So Nah with the ball carrying duties. Lockie Cummings into the game for the Huskies. Now Jansen 2. In for the Rams. Nah with the ball. And now from long range, Jansen just off the glass, and Jones ends up with the ball.
And maybe someone left a door open, Brent, because there's been a couple of wild 3-point shots that haven't hit the rim, so might have a draft coming in here somewhere.
Nah, thought about the 3. And now from the opposite side, Sam Smith drains a long one.
Yeah, I really like the way Smith started this game. He's been absolutely attacking at the offensive end. He's been active defensively as well, and looking to double down previously on Billups.
Can't buy a basket at the moment, the Huskies. All one-way traffic here at the Dillon Entertainment Centre as Nah loses it. Now Marcel Jones off to Moller. Lost it. Now Glidden quickly on the counter. Jansen, Nah, and in for the easy 2 to Smith. And a timeout called here at the Dillon Entertainment Centre. Fast start for the Rams. It's 12-3, Mark Nash. What do you make of it?
Yeah, look, really where the Huskies are struggling is just at the offensive end. Just it's been unorganised. And what that tends to mean is there's, whether it's a late shot clock or pressure, but guys feel that pressure just to create for themselves rather than relying on the system. So that's really been the main issue for the Huskies. And what we're really seeing, Brent, is the Rams looking to push the ball in their offensive transition. So there was a defensive rebound a moment ago, and I saw Cam Glidden, he was rolling the arm over, really saying, come on, let's push the ball. So they've been absolutely calculated to get out and push the ball against the Huskies tonight.
Absolutely. They've come to play the Rams, and we knew they were going to be a good team. And they've certainly shown that so far in this first 6 or so minutes of the game. What would Anthony Stewart's message be here, Nash? He was a little vocal there as the timeout was called to the score bench.
Yeah, and look, he's made a couple of subs now. We have Jordan Vandenberg, who's in the game, and Lockie Cummings also in. So I'd expect the Hobart coaches to be rotating their players tonight. But as we talked about, Brent, this first game is really setting the tone for this series, and I think right now the Rams are setting the tone in this game.
So important. We know that as far as the ladder will be come finals time. Just a quick update from across the Tasman, and the Saints have pushed away from the Airs. They lead it by 10 points now, 77-67. Jordan Vandenberg into the game for the Huskies.
And we can see again this pressure. It's a 1-2-2 zone press. The Rams will be looking to trap the Huskies either side of the halfway line, so really got to be mindful not to get trapped on that sideline. So
Masunda with the ball. Good to see him into the game. And there it is again, Nashy, that pressure, and Glidden real classy there, but just might have had a foot out, I think, did he?
Yeah, I think he stepped out. Glidden's just arguing he wasn't in control of the ball, given he tapped it. Not going to change the referee's mind now, but we can see again just that pressure from the Rams, and they were ready to get out to the races on that steal.
Yeah, they're quick. No doubt about that. So the referees just consulting with each other here.
Yep, and I'm guessing they're probably talking about the shot clock because the Rams didn't actually control the possession. It's currently showing 14 seconds, which would be the call if it was a change of possession for the Huskies here in the half court, but the referees might actually be debating whether there's less time.
Nice crowd in for a Thursday night here. We've got the seats filled right up the back of the Doon Entertainment Centre.
Yep, and look, a really good game night presentation here in Hobart, and this is a junior basketball night, so a lot of people out at Moona Sports Stadium for boys representative basketball tonight, so yeah, a really good crowd here.
Jones, can he get his team back into this game? Tip in from Vandenberg. He was fouled, no points, but he'll go to the line now. You'd think Jordan Vandenberg, and have two cracks at it.
Yep, Emmett Nahr just called for the foul there, and Jordan Vandenberg's done a great job the last few weeks, particularly just being active when he comes into the game. We've seen some pick and roll action with him and Lockie Cummings, but just being really active on the glass, offensive putbacks, and it just makes the Rams think, where is Vandenberg every time that ball goes up.
So he makes both, Jordan Vandenberg, so nice start for him tonight. Now look at this pressure now from the Huskies. But then up the other end, there's players all by themselves. Caught up though was Jansen, and now they've got some time to get things back on their terms here, the Rams. Nah. And now from distance, nice shot.
There's Jansen there, and just a bit too much space there.
Here's Masunda. Controls the ball. Jones. Lockie Cummings. Been doing his job well for the Huskies. Jones couldn't control it. It's going the Rams' way. It's Justin Nelson on screen, the boss of the South NZNBL. Good to see him in Tasmania, checking out how things are going over here.
Yeah, it's really good to see the GM here, and lots of really exciting things, Brent, happening right across the South NBL. A few exciting changes for next year in 2020. So it's a really good time for basketball globally, but in Australia and New Zealand, things are really booming at the moment.
Certainly are. I might have a talk about that a bit later, Nashi. Glidden.
Yeah, Glidden's going to like this matchup. Poor Vandenberg just getting caught on an island there.
Missed the shot. Staying the way of the Rams.
Glidden knew he had that mismatch, had the step back there. And that's always tough for a big fella who's court guarding a guy with Glidden's moves. We can see here, Brent, Mick Down has been rotating his guys every couple of minutes, keeping them fresh. He knows it's a tough schedule here, playing tonight, 48 hours later in Launceston. So he's really looking to keep guys fresh, but also really trying to keep that tempo of the game going at the pace he wants to play at.
Absolutely. That's the voice of Mark Nash, who's in special comments tonight here on a Thursday night in Hobart. Nice drive in from the Rams. Board taken by Vandenberg, and now Moller. Nichols. Billups. Can he get his team firing? He charges in. And we'll go to the line for two.
It looks like that one might have been caught on the floor just before Billups got into his shooting motion there.
Okay, so it's a sideline.
Sideline out of bounds.
Nichols. Need to get going, the Huskies. Need a spark. This man could easily deliver it. Here he goes from the stripe. No. Haven't seen him miss like this for a while, Nashy.
No, I was just thinking in that move, Trey Nichols has got probably the best pull-up game, I think, in the competition so far that I've seen. And unusual for him to miss that one. He's outstanding off the dribble as we see Smith knock down the free throw line jumper there.
So 17 plays 5. The lead's 12 for the Rams. Who's going to give the Huskies the spark they so desperately need right now? Oh, look at this from Vandenberg. Placed himself beautifully and jams it home. Jordan Vandenberg. Nice stuff.
Yeah, the big fella there, just great use of the body and good recognition from his teammates there. But the Huskies 7 points with a minute 20 to go, really still struggling to find their groove at the offensive end.
So Glidden all open. Missed that one, and nice board from Cummings. And he's all open for 3. He's so good from downtown, but no, not this time.
Looks like that might be a foul on Billups there on the rebound contest. And we've seen Billups in some foul trouble already this year, Brent, throughout the league. So really important that he doesn't pick up that second one here in the first quarter. It's always tough as a big fella when there's a rebounding contest and they feel they're just going at it body to body and the referee finds a foul. But Billups just needs to make that adjustment depending on how the refs are calling the game early.
Taylor Britt off to Nah and Britt again. Now inside. They lose it there, the Rams. Foul called.
It looks like it was a foul just on just a hold there on the post up. And one thing I've really enjoyed watching this league this year is just the physicality of some of the players out there, Brent. It's there was State of Origin here in Australia last night, and I think some of these guys would do an outstanding job in that competition.
Absolutely.
As we see Brian Michaels check into the game here.
Yeah, good to see him getting some minutes for the Huskies. Nah. Shot clock's at 5. Up he goes with the jumper and swish.
Yeah, just another example there with Vandenberg getting caught on the switch. And anytime that happens, these guards, whether it's Nah or Glidden, their eyes are going to light up.
Nichols goes to the base. Michaels, Moller from downtown, nails it.
Yep, nice drive. Michaels in the corner, extra pass there. Moller's ready. Much better ball movement there from the Huskies.
Bit of push and shove between Wilkins and Vandenberg. 9 seconds left for the Rams to get a further score. Nah, goes right on in, turns around and off the glass for 2. A nice way to finish what's been a dominant quarter for the visiting team, the Canterbury Rams. 21 plays 10 at quarter time here at the Derwent Entertainment Centre in Hobart. Mark Nash, what have you made of the first term?
Yeah, we've seen 3 or 4 possessions now, and the Rams have been really going after it, where when Jordan Vandenberg's out on the court, they're putting him in a pick and roll situation, and the Huskies, looks like their rules tonight are to switch that. So he's getting caught out guarding that ball carrier. We've had a couple of times with Cam Glidden and a couple of times now with Emmett Nah, and I'd expect the Rams will keep going. So the Huskies need to adjust the way they're defending that ball screen. Vandenberg's done a good job at the offensive end, but just getting caught out there defensively.
Yeah, it's certainly come to play, as we said earlier on. And this is the first of 3 games in a row between these two clubs. An important one, important few games for the Huskies as they try and stay in touch with that top 4. They're in it right now, but we know how close the competition is. We see some of the first quarter highlights here on the screen at the moment. That was the first points for the Huskies there through Moller. Got the 3-point play. Wilkins, and he's a great player. Mark Nash obviously played Summer League with the Houston Rockets over in America.
Yeah, now this Canterbury Rams team is very good. 7 wins and 2 losses coming into this game tonight, and while they perhaps don't have the overall talent in big names like a Wellington Saints, they're very good, and we can see again they've been rotating their players, and every guy that they've brought into the game has actually given them a lift. So we see here's that possession, Cam Glidden just stepping out of court, but again, it's a good example of the pressure that's being applied here tonight by the Rams.
Absolutely. So all the work ahead of the Huskies here.
And we saw that last week on the road, Brent, where they were down 22 points at quarter time. So we've seen them struggle for periods during the season. Sometimes it's been the first quarter, sometimes it's been that third quarter fade where they've blown big leads. So really the key thing for the Huskies is, can they lock in for 40 minutes? Because if they can, I really think they can go with any team in this league.
Well, that's what the message needs to be, isn't it? We've been in this situation before, guys.
Yep.
We can bounce back, so they certainly won't be too worried, I guess, at this point, but they wouldn't want to let it get out too much more against a team like this.
Yep, absolutely. And we can, just looking at the starting lineup for the second quarter here for the Huskies, we've got Trey Nichols, Brian Michaels, Craig Moller, Jordan Vandenberg still out there, and Jalen Billups ready to inbound here at the half court.
Yeah, so Marcel Jones starting on the bench. What do you make of that, Nashi?
Yeah, look, I'm guessing it's just to give him a bit of a break. Vandenberg has been doing a great job at the offensive end. We've talked about some of that defensive structure that might need to change on the ball screen, but overall, Vandenberg's been doing a reasonable job, but I'd expect Marcel Jones back in the game within a couple of minutes.
Here we go. Quarter 2 underway here from the Doon Entertainment Centre in Hobart. Thursday night, South's NZNBL action. Here's Billups.
Yeah, much better action here from the Huskies.
Billups goes low and does it nicely too off the glass.
Yep. And we can see just the difference with that opening possession there. The ball got through a lot of hands. Get Billups with a nice roll to the basket. And he's an outstanding finisher, as we talked about, at the basket.
Wilkins.
That's his second foul, though.
So, blocking foul on Jalen Billups.
And he's waving Anthony Stewart away. He's like, leave me in the game. Always a tough call for a coach when someone picks up the second early at this stage of the game. And this is really a challenge for Billups. As, professional player, can he play with fouls? But we can see the Rams really going at him now.
Definitely. Moller gets the board and fouled in the process, so Huskies will get the ball.
Yeah, there was nothing finesse about that defensive play there. I really like the fight and the effort by the Rams, but sometimes you need to pick your battles, as we see Britt pick up the foul and the sub.
So the lead's 9 points to the Rams.
Yep, Cam Glidden back in the game. He's going to Moller. That's a great matchup for Australian NBL fans who might be watching tonight. Two really good players in our league here in Australia.
So Trey Nichols, that famous sweatband. Moller. Vandenberg gets it back to Moller. Wants to drive in, gets stuck. Goes back to the top to Nichols. Shot clock's at 5. Now Billups from long range. He's so good from there. Just rolled out that time around. And now a quick transition here from the Rams. Wilkins couldn't hang on to it, and it is off the foot of Moller. Anthony Stewart displeased with that.
I think he might have a good point to argue there, but hands on the head there from Stewie. Get on to the next play now.
That's it. Need to move on quickly, don't you, in this game? Nah. Bounce pass inside, nice, and wasn't a two-pointer in the end, but the foul has taken place, and Talma will go to the line for 2.
Yep. And Emmett Nah, the all-time assist leader at St Mary's University, ahead of a couple of NBA players, Matthew Delvedova and Paddy Mills. So look, he's a guy that plays with outstanding poise, and I'm really enjoying watching the way he's playing that on ball tonight. He's picking his moment, he's working the mismatch, he's finding his teammates, and he's a really exciting prospect with the Illawarra Hawks in the Australian NBL, and I'd expect he'll be knocking on the door of the Australian Boomers in years to come as well, Brent.
Absolutely. So Talma misses the first. Can he make up for it here with the second shot? You betcha. In it goes. Lead back out to 10. The pressure here for Nichols to get it over the line, and Michaels does well. Billups to Moller. Now Vandenberg, busy early in that first quarter. Nichols with the jump shot, nails it this time.
Yep, and there's that pull-up game. Trey Nichols had the defender hand in his face, and he is absolutely elite at finishing off the dribble.
Talma with the loop shot. Can't get it to drop, but tipped in by Wilkins.
Yeah, just the athleticism of Wilkins there. The ball bobbling on the ring and just able to come over the top with that extra length, those extra springs.
Here's Brian Michaels. Looking for the pass to Billups, gets it. Billups goes strong on the base. So powerful, Jalen Billups.
Yeah, look, it hasn't been perfect, but certainly the way the Huskies are moving the ball to start this second quarter has been a lot better than the first. Got a lock in on defense, still getting their ball screen D a little bit confused.
Talma back to the top to Smith. Vandenberg got a hand to it but couldn't control it. Now Smith again misses that one. And a rebound to Billups and gets fouled.
Yeah, you can see the Huskies closing the gap. Marcel Jones checking back in now. Looks like Craig Moller's going to have a break.
So we want to tick over 2 minutes here in the second term.
You can see Michaels and Marcel Jones just discussing the press break here. Looks like Jones is going to camp around the centre circle there. We see Wilkins just hovering, plug in the middle of the court there.
So Billups working his way into this game. Ryan Michaels. Oh, nice pass. Vandenberg just barges his way in, but does well, Trey Nichols, to keep it inside the half court for the Huskies. He goes for three now, Trey. Would have been a nice play and tipped in beautifully from Vandenberg, and he is improving by the week, Mark Nash.
He is. I haven't seen a lot of Jordan Vandenberg before this stint with the Huskies, and the first couple of games he struggled a little bit, and that was probably acclimatising to the league and the team. But as we talked about earlier, this is the only situation where they are struggling a little bit, but he's done a great job these last few weeks.
So they're clawing their way back here, the Huskies. The lead's only 6 down. They've got possession. So, as we said, they didn't panic at quarter time. They know they can come back from deficits. They've been doing that a bit lately. Saw it last weekend against the Rangers as Michaels goes for the jump shot. Nice swish from B-Mike.
Yep, and this lineup doing a really good job to start this second quarter. So, Anthony Stewart's now got some choices. Does he let these guys keep rolling with it for the next few minutes, as they've really been fighting back to close the gap to 4 here?
Nah goes in, bounce pass out.
3-second count again.
There you go. So that's twice that's happened now for the Rams, and the momentum certainly shifting in this game towards the Huskies.
Absolutely, Brent, and it'll be interesting just to see now how Mick Downer approaches these next few minutes, whether he calls a timeout to resettle the group. But absolutely momentum now with the Huskies as we're halfway, or nearly halfway through the second quarter.
So Trey Nichols. Vandenberg. Now the player of the week in the Souths NZNBL from last round. Here we go again. Same sort of players last time. It didn't quite work for Vandenberg on this occasion. And quick transition. And foul drawn there on Vandenberg. And we'll see Karina go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Vandenberg just a fraction high, possibly on the catch on that last possession. Always tough for the big fella to then put the jets on, sprint down the court and picks up a foul. But overall, really good minutes for Vandenberg.
Yep.
He'll get a break, but I expect that he'll be back in within a few minutes, maybe give Billups a break so he doesn't pick up that third foul, as we see Moller back in. So, again, a bit of a more mobile, active lineup for the Huskies at both ends of the floor. It looks like Mason Bragg's also getting ready to check back in.
So, Mike Karina, 4th season with the Rams. So you could say a veteran of the Souths NZNBL.
Yep, does a great job for this team, and tough matchup tonight against Jalen Billups, who's left open at the top for the 3.
No. Oh, nice rebound from Michaels, and goes again. Fortunately didn't drop for him, but would have been a good reward for some strong effort there. And out of bounds again. That's a couple of times that's happened too.
Yep, Mason Bragg checking in for Billups. So again, the Huskies line up getting smaller each sub, Brent. But again, this group, we'll see now Marcel Jones and Craig Moller in the 4 and 5 spot. So a very active combination. These guys can step out on the perimeter, take players off the dribble. So it's going to be a tough cover here for a few of these Rams defenders.
Bragg loves to drive it in. Moller just goes back with the shot now. Just bounced off the front of the rim, unfortunately.
And
Glidden. And Nice two in the end from Tolove.
Yeah, and you can just see how efficient the Rams can be in transition. Glidden, great job, eyes up, spots his teammate on the opposite wing, and a good finish there under pressure.
Nichols caught up, ends up finding some space though. Just struggling to find the basket, both teams tonight here at the deck.
Yep, and there's been a few out of bounds, guys stepping out, a couple of 3 seconds call, which can just adjust momentum and guys groove in the game. And good minutes there from Brian Michaels as we see Jalen Billups. Just a quick break and he's back into the game. With that lineup to start the second quarter there, Brent, for the Huskies did a fantastic job chipping away. And here we see both teams will now talk it over, and let's see the adjustments as they come back after this timeout.
Yeah, 21-10 it was at quarter time. It's now 26-20, so a really good fight back here from the Southern Huskies, Nashi.
Yeah, and not only was there a discrepancy in the score, Brent, at quarter time, 21-10, as you mentioned, the Rams were also up 14-7 on the rebound count. So really smashing the Huskies on the boards. I'd expect that would have corrected a bit in this quarter. A couple of offensive boards from Jordan Vandenberg, Brian Michaels. So teams always talk about what they're doing defensively and whichever team can win the boards. And Mick Downer certainly spoke about that in the lead up to this game during the week, saying how important it is to get out and win that rebound count.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Entertaining contest here we've got on a Thursday night. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. If you're watching us across the Tasman in New Zealand or indeed anywhere around the world, technology is a wonderful thing this day and age, Mark Nash.
Look, it really is, and you can watch these games on your mobile devices as well, whether it's people out for dinner, having a bit of a sneak at the score, Brent, and maybe catching a few minutes, or on public transport, in the office, at work, wherever they might be. So really fantastic, just the coverage, that all the games are live streamed, and it's really great to be able to bring the quality of this league to audiences right across the globe.
So Glidden, we're back underway, gets it in. Now Wilkins. Glidden just quick under the basket, but just had a little bit too much on the shot in the end.
Yeah, he's one of those really dangerous guys. Andrew Gaze, the Australian basketball legend, was just amazing with his work off the ball. Cam Glidden reminds me a bit of that, just around his basketball IQ and ability to find space. As we see Billups going to work inside.
Can't get it this time. Karina gets it off quickly to Nah. And nice move under the base, but loses it. Does Wilkins. Nichols now. Flicks it back to Bragg, and he gets it inside, but Marcel Jones is fouled in the end by Emmett Nah.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Emmett Nah. They're giving up a lot of size to Marcel Jones, who did a great job of recognising that mismatch, and we talked about Nah going against Jordan Vandenberg off the dribble. This is the reverse of that, where the big guy takes him inside. That's only his first foul, so no major concerns there for Nah.
Bragg, top of the arc to Moller. Nichols had some time, had a look at it. Won't fall, and that's off the Rams though.
Yeah, that'll be a Huskies ball.
Tolove.
14-second reset there, so another vital possession here for the Huskies in the late stages of the second quarter.
In it comes. Nichols finds a gap, but back to the top of the arc to Jones. Has a real good look, and just a little bit flat the shot. Bounced off the front of the ring. Bragg, Tasmanian born and bred, and Billups gets fouled and will go to the line for two.
Yeah, we can see the Rams defense as Jalen Billups just rolled out of that horn set play there. Three guys just converge on him. They know that if they're half a step late, they might get absolutely flattened through the floor like that poor guy in New Zealand last week. See one of the biggest transition dunks, not just of the season, but in recent memory.
So misses the first Billups. Lead 6 at the moment for the Rams. Free throw shooting's let the Huskies down a bit this season, Nashi.
It has. They've certainly been inconsistent, and Jalen Billups has had a lot of good opportunity to get to the free throw line, and again, just part of his game to really just stay composed and knock those down. He's a guy that's going to get fouled a lot because he's so effective finishing at the basket. So really important to make the other team pay when you have the chance. Glidden,
nice pass inside to the powerful man underneath there in Karina, but loses it. Now Moller, long pass to Jones, out to Bragg. Nichols Had some time but decided against the three-point attempt. Oh, and that might be treble. No, he did well. Keep it alive.
7 seconds on the shot clock here. Muller's got to create.
He does just that, but air ball. So not the result the Huskies are after at all. And again, the score has not moved for a long time, apart from that free throw from Jalen Billups, but nice result there for Tolove. Oh, gee, bit of confusion there, and very sloppy from the Huskies, and a one-handed jam from Tolove. What on earth just happened there? Yeah, and you can see Bragg and Jones having some words. So the ball was passed in, but looks like they weren't quite ready, and look at that, one-handed jam if you don't mind.
Yeah, that was a very, very messy play, Brent. And, you know, Marcel Jones and Mason Bragg just trying to get connected there and work out what was going on. But really, you know, in that situation, my thing is that the best thing, just pick the ball up. You're better to have a sideline play than, you know, give the ball back to the opposition under their basket and finishing with a dunk.
So mass confusion there. A few fingers being pointed. You can't afford to do that against a team like this. The lead now back out to 9.
Yep.
When they were in such a good position not too long ago.
Yep, and we can see just how the momentum can swing in a game. The Huskies did a great job in the first 5 minutes this quarter. Now you'd say the Rams might have wrestled that momentum back. You can see their eyes starting to light up now. A transition layup, a steal and a dunk. Probably expect them to put some full court pressure on here as well to try and get another steal. And we see Lockie Cummings is back in the game for Trey Nichols having a bit of a break.
Yeah, they didn't need that, the Huskies, so they'll get it again though. Back in the same spot. Mason Bragg just having a chat to the referee.
Yep, and we can see really picking up full court, Cam Glidden and face guarding Mason Bragg, not allowing him to carry the ball. Rams obviously more content with Lockie Cummings having those duties and really not letting Mason Bragg get the ball back.
Found the end, so it's against Smith of the Rams.
Yeah, Smith just a bit upright on that defensive possession there. It looked like might have been a knock of knees by the wince on the face of Lockie Cummings.
Yeah, it's 2 shots by the look of it for Lockie Cummings.
Yeah, and that's a costly play for the Rams there when you foul almost at the halfway line, send a good free throw shooter like Cummings to the free throw line. So that's certainly a possession they'd like to have back. We see Mick Downer giving Emmett Naar some instructions on the sideline. He'd be overall very happy with the way the first half's going so far.
Looks a cool, calm, collected coach. Mick Downer, as you said, Nash, quite experienced as we see this inconsistency from the free throw line again for the Huskies.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mick Downer would be very well prepared. He'd have a plan that the guys would be well across. He'd be able to make those adjustments during the game. So it's really great to have the level of coaching that the South NBL has right across the board.
So Glidden, bounce pass in, and he gets it back, Glidden. A really nice play from the Rams.
Yep, and again, it's just that movement off the ball, passes inside. The defender, Moller in that case, maybe just a slight turn of the head to see where the ball's gone, and Glidden just back cut, layup. Super efficient for young players watching the game tonight.
Billups, dangerous in this situation, does it all and gets it in.
Yeah, and that's where he is absolutely lethal. Catches the ball anywhere in the paint, he can finish towards the basket, he can fade away for a little jumper or a jump hook, and he's been an absolute stud for the Huskies this year.
Wilkins, top of the arc, decides to drive on in. A nice block there from Moller, but they get it back to the top of the arc, the Rams. Good board again though, having another crack at it. Canterbury, and eventually they get it to sink, third time lucky.
Yep, and you elite shooters miss the first one. Wilkins does a great job on the O board. Glidden catches it, steps into it, and he's not going to miss 2 in a row. As we see, Brian Michaels now coming back into the game.
Jones drives on in, loses the ball though, tried to do a little too much, and now on the counter, Naar goes in and gets it in for 2.
Yeah, that's pushed that lead out to 13 points there, but
Billups missed it. Nice board from Jones and gets it in.
Yeah, and this is where the Huskies need to be careful of not just getting caught up in playing at the Rams' pace. They're really happy getting up and down. Huskies have got to try and string together a couple of stops here. And again, same play, backdoor cut, Emmett Naar, good finish at the rim.
Just over 30 seconds left in the half.
And Brent, this is really basketball 101. So if you're coaching a junior team, you talk about passing the ball to the post, relocate, cut hard to the basket, and the Huskies are just not having that awareness of keeping connected with their player.
Jones almost lost it. Moller, Billups, can he give him some momentum? No. And Glidden just happy to hold things up here and run it down. 10 seconds to go in the first half here. Leads 13. Can Mason Bragg get one in? Off to Jones, and nice jam to finish the half for the Huskies.
And
so
great work there by Mason Bragg. Picks the pocket there at the halfway, and Marcel Jones just got that one over the front of the rim, Brent. But a really good, strong finish there for the Huskies right on the buzzer.
They needed it, that's for sure. A bit of momentum. The lead cut back to 11 points. Could have been 13, so I guess that's a positive as we see Mick Downer just having a word with the officials there as they leave the court. Let's have a look at the replay here. And that's that incident from before with the mass confusion between Jones and Bragg.
So it looks like Jones passed it in, or no?
Looks like
he touched it.
Yeah.
And wasn't prepared to pick it up.
There you go, and look at that. Nice finish too, wasn't it?
Yeah, but overall the Huskies would be disappointed in that first half, Brent. They had their struggles in the first quarter. Their offense was just out of sorts. They did a great job to fight back in the early stages of that second quarter, but the last 3 or 4 minutes the Rams really wrestled back control of the game, and that was through their defensive effort and intent, but also their ability to get out and run and finish in transition. So yeah, a strong finish by the Rams, and the Huskies certainly have their work to do after half-time.
They certainly do. We'll take a short break here at the Doon Entertainment Centre and be back with the second half very soon. Welcome back to the Derwent Entertainment Centre here in Hobart, Tasmania. Thursday night, Sal's NZNBL action coming your way for the second half between the Southern Huskies and the Canterbury Rams. The Rams lead it at half-time by 11 points, 39 plays 28. Mark Nash, former NBL player, joins me in commentary tonight. Nashy, what do you make of the first half of those just joining us?
Yeah, we saw, Brent, the Rams pushed out to an 11-point lead at quarter time, and then halfway through the second quarter, it was back to 20 points to 24. So the Huskies really closed the gap, and then the Rams did take control of the game back to finish off that second quarter. So an 11-point break, so that quarter was even overall, but I think really momentum's with the Rams, and I really like the intensity and the effort they're showing out here tonight.
Yeah, some interesting stats were handed at half-time. The Huskies 1 from 13 from three-point territory, so they won't be happy with that.
Yep. And then really, we talked about it early on in the game, their first 3 or 4 shots were three-point attempts, and that was just guys trying to get that early bucket, not relying on the offense, but actually trying to make things happen and force things to happen. So sometimes when teams miss a few, that pressure builds, and 1 of 13 is a real struggle streak there for the Huskies.
Here we go. Glidden, the superstar of this Canterbury team, and throws it to another superstar. The superstars all through this team. So Nah gets it to Wilkins, who has a look from long range, bounces back out, and Moller, it's off his hands, so the Rams will keep possession.
Yep, Craig Moller just a little bit wrong-footed there, and momentum going towards the basket, and the ball sort of fires off the bottom of the ring. So another possession here for the Rams. And I'm also really liking the effort and the hustle from Wilkins with 7 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds in the first half, Brent. So
Nah, just a little 360 inside the key, if you don't mind, pops it in.
Yeah, he's very classy, and he's now moved up to 5 of 6 from the field, so just an efficient scorer. He's been deadly in the on-ball situations here tonight, but also getting it done off the dribble in the paint.
Marcel Jones just gets inside. Oh, gee, they can't buy a basket tonight, the Huskies. That just was unlucky there from Jones.
And this crowd has gone dead quiet, Brent.
Haven't they? You can hear a pin drop in here at the moment as Nah goes from long range and Jones gets the board. It is very quiet here at the moment, Mark Nash. Good observation from you. As Trey Nichols provides some sparks, a much-needed boost.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get people up off their seats, and a bit of noise, some Husky howls coming about now. Huskies really need to string together a couple of defensive stops there as we see Glidden again, passing to the post, move, just
clever
outstanding
pass.
Vision there, wasn't it?
Yeah, couldn't pull it off, but it was very nice vision. Try and spot up Wilkins, who was travelling through. They'll keep possession. Yeah, very, very smart. Here's Karina, who's been influential in this game, and going through Wilkins, just powerful to the rim.
Yeah, but again, that trap, full court trap here. Wilkins looking to go and chase the ball handler. Trey Nichols does a good job staying composed. Billups stepped up for the on-ball screen.
So Nichols gets it off to Jones. Shot clock's at 10. Moller. Billups, so powerful. And in for 2.
Yep, he is tough in there. But these Rams backcourt of Glidden and Nah, just 2 guys that play with amazing poise, great decision makers. Glidden there, catch.
Oh, big powerful board from Billups. Bragg. And he provides some energy. Here's Billups storming through and does his own work off the glass, tips it back in.
Yeah, his second effort and just ability to be able to reload and spring back in for that second effort putback has been amazing. He gets 1 or 2 of those a game where he's attacking the basket hard under pressure, but just able to spring back up and great control and finish there with the left hand.
So Nah, inside. And they get caught there, the Rams, but they'll keep the ball. Here's Wilkins. Just goes on in, easy as you like, finger roll into the basket.
Yeah, and he caught that about the halfway line with 4 seconds on the clock, Brent, and was just able to straight line drive to the basket. Anthony Stewart, he's looking a frustrated man right now.
Moller, the captain. Bragg, Marcel Jones from distance. Rolls out. So it is all the Canterbury Rams at the moment. They lead it by 12, and Moller gets the ball back here. Slapped away and fouled there. So a good result for the Southern Huskies. Nah, cops the foul. Here's the replay. And there's the big reach in there. Hard to argue against that one.
And that's Na's second foul. So, again, no major concerns for the Rams in foul trouble. Craig Moller, Traylon Billups are sitting on 3 fouls. Craig Moller with 2.
Here he is, the man you speak of, and nails the 3. Just what the doctor ordered for the Huskies. Brings them back to within 8. So still plenty of time here, and we know they fought back from a big deficit last weekend, Anthony Stewart's team, so they certainly will know they've got the time in their advantage. And look at this, oh, the pass just didn't quite work. Mason Bragg was on the run, but intercepted by Glidden, and then coming through, massive dunk from Tolliver. Huge stuff.
That is 2 drives, straight line drives to the basket with no resistance at all. So whether we see Jordan Vandenberg coming back into the game just for some basket protection, but anytime you see a guy just line it up and straight to the bucket, there's definitely concerns there defensively.
Here's Jones, just barges his way in for 2. Back to 8.
Yeah, Marcel Jones just showing his talent there. You know, very skilled offensive player. You know, that little right-hand hook is almost automatic. I reckon he's shooting it at about 80% this year. As we see now, another nice finish. And he is just really having his way out here tonight.
Sure is. Dominant. So the lead back out to double digits, 49-39. Jones just took off and drove in, gets it back out to Moller, who couldn't hit the 3 that time around. And now on the counter is Nah, gets it off. And the 3 couldn't fall there for Tolliver. Bragg so quick. Puts those afterburners on and unstoppable, but Jones, oh, Billups couldn't drag it in, and again the Rams end up with it. Glidden right across, switches the play. Tolliver, pass wasn't his best and ends up with the Huskies, and he's fouled too, Tolliver. So
yep, nice read there by Mason Bragg. Just did a good job anticipating the flight of that ball there. Tolliver picks up the foul. Looks like he's going to have a break, perhaps. It's great minutes there, though. I really like the spark he's provided. Yep. And we're seeing a timeout here.
Like Brian Michaels and Jordan Vandenberg ready to check back into the game. So those 2 particularly had pretty good presence in the first half, Mark Nash.
They did. Yeah, Vandenberg came in early and was a good presence out there at the offensive end. Had some struggles with the ball screen action, so you'd expect the Rams to look to go back at that and try and create the mismatch off the dribble. But yeah, Brian Michaels came on and did a really good job at both ends of the floor and was really involved with that spark at the first 5 minutes of the second quarter.
Bit of You're the Voice, John Farnham in the background here at the deck. Nash, one of your favourite tunes, no doubt?
Yeah, look, it's hard to beat. You know, the blonde mullet, it never gets old, Brent, does it? And you know, the fans here are just waiting for that moment where the game might break open and the Huskies are able to really jump back in here. But right now, I think the guy making the most noise is Mick Downer. I'm really liking his energy on the sideline. He's rallying his troops, he's encouraging them, he's into every single possession. We look down the other end, Anthony Stewart's up and about as well. So
you spoke about that tactical battle earlier, Nashy. You see Downer with a lot of experience as a coach, and so is Anthony Stewart. Certainly the highest level Stewie's coached at, though, this South NZNBL.
Yeah, and just as the players need to turn up every week, the coaches do. They need to prepare during the week, and it would have been a really tight turnaround for the Huskies after their double road trip last weekend, and they would have been watching game film on the flight and getting ready.
I'll ask you a question about that in a minute as we see Nichols bring it down for the Huskies. Moller. Nichols, the bounce pass inside to Billups. Playbook, Jalen Billups. Textbook stuff that, but not this time, and fouls drawn. Yeah, we spoke about that trip home, Nash. And we know about the Tassie curse with the teams playing here and going back to New Zealand and losing the next week. It's going to be tough too for the Huskies to come back as well after a long trip.
It is.
Despite having the home court advantage.
Yeah, lots of travel on the road and a couple of hard contests over there. And the game tonight, and then 48 hours later, there's a trip up to Launceston. I think that the guys team's going up tomorrow, staying overnight in Launceston, and then back on the court against the same team in at the Silverdome. So, both of these coaches, as soon as this game finishes, they'll be getting a copy of the game, they'll be getting the stats, and they'll be looking to make those adjustments, see what they can do.
Yeah, you think whatever happens tonight, it'll be a vastly different looking game by the end of the final one in New Zealand next Friday night.
Yep, absolutely. And really for fans in Launceston, what a great opportunity to get along on Saturday night and see the talent we've talked about.
That's one of them right there, Emmett Nah.
And again, the game is just being too easy tonight for Emmett Nah. He's placed with that poise, he's under control and just really picking his moment, and he's been absolutely ruthless.
Leads out to 12 again. Phillips finds some space, drives in, and gee, they just can't hit one.
Yeah, and the Huskies again, they've dug themselves into a bit of a hole now and just starting to get a little individual. One pass, and as we see, Wilkins knocked down the 3 ball.
Slowly creeping away here now. That leads out to 15.
Yeah, certainly some danger signs here for the Huskies.
Just over 3 minutes left in this third quarter. As Trey Nichols goes in, and Vandenberg went for the tip in, but on the counter again, a quick counter here is Glidden, all too easy off the glass.
Yep, but we see the difference again, Brent, where Trey Nichols, and he's an elite finisher and elite player at this level, but just a tough contested shot over 3 players. The Rams secure that, they're on the break, easy layup. So that's the difference in the game right now. The Rams are really controlling things at both ends of the floor.
Crowd is silent here at the Derwent Entertainment Centre. I know the Huskies have a big mountain to climb now. 17 points with 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and they're really seeming to have these struggles, whether it's the first quarter, we talked about on the road trip last week, being down at 22 at quarter time. There's been a couple of games here previously at home in the third quarter where they've given up double-digit leads at halftime pretty quickly in the third quarter. And again tonight, just really struggling to get going after the halftime break.
Nice crowd in, as we said earlier, on a Thursday night. A lot of junior basketball competitions around Hobart tonight. But I reckon it's a crowd of 1,500 plus, which is a pretty good result. Crowd's getting bigger and better by the game here in Tasmania. As we said, this is the last one in Hobart for the season. Had 4 big games here, and now we've got 3 left in Launceston, which is in Tasmania's north, the other end of the island.
Yep, we see again that face guarding here from Cam Glidden, just not allowing Trey Nichols to get an easy catch, but he does a great job of getting open, and Emmett Nah is right on his hip, trying to channel him. Starting point guard for the Illawarra Hawks in the Australian NBL. Brian Michaels, open 3, corner.
Good board from Moller, a long stretch to get the ball back. Vandenberg back to Jones. Jones, lost the ball. Vandenberg did well.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Not sure if Nichols is aware.
He is. He puts it up and can't land it though.
That 7'1" frame of Vandenberg doing a great job. 2 offensive boards in the 1 possession. And a nice finish there by Marcel Jones with a chance for a 3-point play.
Yep. So will this be the spark that they desperately need? It's a good start.
Yeah,
can nail this.
Plenty of time left in this game, but really the key for the Huskies is getting organised at the offensive end and now trying to string some defensive stops together. So can't afford just to play possession game here with the Rams and go basket for basket. The Huskies have really got to lock in at the defensive end.
So they needed that. And now Smith off to Glidden. Australian boomer. Hails from Western Australia. Smith. Alma, and now Wilkins. Shot clock's at 5, 3, 2, and they've lost it here. The Rams, so good defence.
Yep, and that's one stop. Now they'll be looking to string a few more of those together in a row. But a good defensive possession there for the Huskies. Just staying composed, not reaching, not giving a bailout foul there late in the shot clock.
So Nichols 41 plays 56, the lead's 15. Jones, a bit of class there from the player of the week from last round.
Yep, and again, just an elite offensive player. You know, really strong ability to be able to create a shot for himself. Just Huskies now need to just make sure they keep going through their offense.
Wilkins, and that might be an offensive foul. It is, so things turning a little here for the Huskies. Still a long way to claw their way back, but you just need a bit of luck sometimes, Nashi.
Yeah, absolutely. Wilkins not happy with that. Mick Downer just calling for a sub there, just to ensure there's no major foul trouble before the three-quarter time break. But Wilkins having a few
filthy
little words there.
Yep, not happy at all.
And look, he's had a huge impact on this game. He's been active on the O boards. He's been attacking the rim. I really like what he's brought to this Rams team tonight. And, you know, again, Mick Downer, just with that luxury of the lead, able to give Emmett Naar a few minutes break, and you'd expect he'll come in fresh to start the fourth quarter shortly.
Yeah, we've got a minute 23 left as Nichols has the ball. Does well to control it. He's all class, we know that. And now Jones bounces off the rim. Good board from Michaels. Jones again, inside. No. Gets it back, and two. So clawing their way back nicely here. That lead now back to 11.
Yep, and the Rams won't have quite the same leadership out here with Naar on the bench. You can see Cam Glidden's sort of playing that point guard role, instructing the team, but they don't have quite the same flow offensively.
5 seconds left on the shot clock and 2 goes in. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Moller looks to be in a hurry. Ends up slowing down. Jones, oh, the quick spin. And off to Vandenberg.
And the big fella, look at that scout.
He's happy with that.
We see Jalen Billups coming back, and looks like he's coming in for Vandenberg. Probably for that last possession, you'd expect the Rams to really go at the big fella off an on-ball screen. So a good sub there by Anthony Stewart.
He was very happy with that. Jordan Vandenberg, a real steely look on his face too, and gets the three-point play too.
Yep, and that really good decision by Marcel Jones. Got the quick catch and the spin, was able to find the big fella, diving hard to the basket, and that's a finish these fans want to come and see. As we see the last couple of possessions here, the Huskies will have about 4 seconds, depending on when the Rams put this last shot up. But Nichols here, just really important not to pick up a foul.
Yep. So 12 seconds left here in the third term. The shot clock's at 6-5, and Glidden goes for it. Oh, that hurts. That hurts from a Huskies perspective. 3 seconds remaining for Nichols to get a shot up. In he goes. Does well, Trey Nichols. That's a real nice fight-back shot.
Yep, and look, Trey, he caught that ball under the free throw line at the opposite end with about 3 or 4 seconds and was able to get to the opposite free throw line, finish over pressure. But how about that shot from Cam Glidden? You see the replay there.
They needed that, didn't they, the Huskies? So 11-point lead at three-quarter time. 61 plays 50. And all the hard work ahead for the Huskies, Nashi.
Yeah, sorry to jump in there, Brent, but as we can see, that 11-point lead has just been hanging around since quarter time. So we can see the importance of jumping out early as the Rams did tonight. The Huskies have had moments where they've fought back, but each time the Rams have been able to steady and just hang on to that 11-point margin, which we've had at each of the breaks.
Seeing some of the highlights here from the third quarter. That was that nice shot from Glidden. Anthony Stewart still there talking with his coaches, Dwayne Davey, Corey Davey.
Yep, they'll be just probably first up discussing their lineup. Do they stay with the same group who've done a reasonable job? If you take out that Glidden 3, that's a huge difference on this scoreline and just momentum in the game. So I'd expect they'll probably go with the same group. Got Trey Nichols, Marcel Jones, Billups, Brian Michaels and Craig Moller. We'll see Emmett Naar here just finding Wilkins on the nice slash to the bucket.
If you're just joining us, these two teams play 3 times in succession here tonight in Hobart, Saturday night in Launceston, and the final game next Friday night back over the ditch in New Zealand. So they'll know each other really well by the end of that, Nashi.
They will, and it is a grueling schedule for the Huskies when we talk about 5 games essentially within a couple of weeks period of time. So that's a tough stretch, and again really important that guys are rotating through and yeah, just trying to keep players as fresh as they can. So not a lot of time in the practice court, no doubt, for the Huskies. But a lot of time, you know, watching game film, reviewing that, getting their scout organised. As we see a Huskies ball here to start the fourth quarter.
Crowd need to get involved here as well. Get their team over the line. Last time they'll see them here in 2019, so expect a big vocal crowd this final term. Here we go. What can the Huskies do? They fought back beautifully last week. Can they do it again? Nichols. Now Moller. Where it rolls off. Umpire's blowing the whistle.
Just looking who that call's on, but it looks like it's against the Rams.
So here's the
just
replay.
A hold there on the rebound against Rena. It's Jalen Billups will be saying that's the payback one for earlier in the game when he got a rebound contest foul.
14 seconds left on the shot clock. Oh, Billups, nicely done in the paint. Nice pass from Moller too.
He just has an amazing ability to find the basket, even when he's off balance. Like he was side on, left shoulder towards the basket, just found the contact, fought through it. Nice little kiss off the glass.
Nah, oh, nice. But that stays the way of the Rams.
Yep, good contest there, but we see Emmett Nah back in the game now, and just again his ability to be able to attack the rim. Brian Michaels has got the tough job there, and we see Craig Moller defending the inbound here against Smith.
Oh dear, big mistake there from the Rams, and Karina lets it go out of bounds. Wasn't quite ready for the pass. And Huskies ball, so good result, 9-point lead. Michaels, now Nichols.
Yep, Trey Nichols back to ball carrying duties. And we see Billups there again.
Michaels, referee's blowing the whistle here. What have we got?
So we've got another one on Karina there. He just sort of dropped the right shoulder there, I think, on the back cut with Moller. Just, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, that was all fair game in basketball, but now FIBA have tidied the rules up just on that contact off the ball. And that's Karina's third foul, so no major issues there. He'll just have to be careful he doesn't pick the fourth up.
Michaels is loose here on the other side. Moller hasn't spotted him up, but decided to drive in. And now Jansen coming through. Moller with the rebound. Jones and Billups ahead of him. Had a lot of Rams as well. Nichols, nice spin. Pulls up the jump shot. Oh, good board from Marcel Jones. And foul as well. That one going on Taylor Britt.
Yeah, so the danger here for the Rams, we're a minute and 11 seconds into the third, and just, I don't want to get in the bonus situation too early where every foul from then on will be actually sending the Huskies to the free throw line. So just need to pick their moments, and you know, while they want to play with that effort and enthusiasm, you know, 3 quick fouls there can actually have a big influence on this game.
Jones. 11 seconds left on the shot clock here for the Huskies. 5 seconds now, and oh, they couldn't get it to drop. Nice defense here from Nichols. Has he called the foul? No. That's a great result for the home team. Here's the replay.
Yeah, Nichols did a good job. Just found the ball. And even though it's a Rams ball here, that possession arrow can also be really crucial. So next held ball situation will be back to the Huskies. So they'll be happy with that outcome.
Absolutely.
Trey Nichols did a great job shaking his defender there. Probably just like that one back. Maybe finish on the other side of the basket. Just Rams did a job just getting a finger on that shot, which is enough. Mason Bragg's going to come in and get the job on Emmett Nah.
That was predicted pre-game, wasn't it, that matchup? Seen it tonight.
Yeah, it's a good point guard battle. And again, you know, right across these lineups, you know, Cam Glidden having a break now, but Glidden and Moller have been going at it tonight. You know, Marcel Jones and Billups. Brian Michaels, really important minutes tonight out here as well.
All right, so Bragg, close check on Britt. Downer just asking the question there, and there's the 2 points in for Wilkins, and he'll go to the line for one more.
And Britt just doing a good job there. He was able to pin Mason Bragg, we see on the replay, just in that sideline. Opened up the lane with Jones having to help there and just getting caught out of position. And Wilkins doing a great job of just finishing in traffic for the M1.
Can't get the three-point play, Wilkins, and Huskies on the counter now. The lead is 11 points for the Rams. They just can't quite get the deficit a little closer to where they'd like it, but that's a good start. And Billups again down a pleading with his team to get back down the court.
And still 8 minutes to go, so we've got an eternity of basketball here, Brent, which is great. But again,
oh,
Moller
nice
does a great
block.
job.
Great block, Craig Moller gets the ball back as well. That's what they need, a bit of spark. And there we go, 2 more points thanks to Marcel Jones, and Huskies with a bit of momentum here at the deck, and the crowd getting involved too, Mark Nash.
They are, absolutely, and that's what they need. They need a spark there, and the crowd can really be that sixth player for the Huskies to give them a lift. And Mick Downer wants to talk it over. We expect Cam Glidden's going to come back in.
We'll lead back to 7 points, which is probably the lowest it's been for a while. So, as you said, 7 minutes, 48 left on the clock. An eternity in basketball, so plenty of time here for them to be overrun.
Yep, absolutely.
Can they do it, though, is the question.
Yeah, and it's just now not getting too excited. Like, the Huskies have done a good job to start this quarter. The Rams are in some early foul trouble, so just keep being aggressive. But again, the effort needs to be at the defensive end, Brent. Really trying to lock in there. They've done a good job. You'd expect Craig Moller's now going to get the job back on Cam Glidden, and we just know how effective he can be with the ball, but also without the ball, with his movement, his timing, his back cuts. So a really important matchup there for Craig Moller.
Well, we've got an exciting finish. Do not go anywhere. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. If you're watching us over in New Zealand, where it's pretty late at night. 20 past 10.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Canterbury fans, Brent, eager to see the outcome of this game. So, again, great to be bringing the Souths NBL live here from the Do Entertainment Centre in Hobart.
Yeah, the crowd certainly lifted here in the last couple of minutes, that's for sure. Here we go. Glidden.
Huskies look like they're in a bit of a zone action here. Just need to be really mindful to be aware of Glidden and Nah.
Jansen. That hurts. That really hurts the Huskies.
Yep.
Back out to 10 now. Phillips. Just the spin. Bounces off, so not the start after this timeout they were hoping for, the Huskies. Wilkins. Nice stuff again. Glidden rolls out. Jones can't control it. Shot clock at 10 as Nah has a look at it. Rolls out. Michaels, now Bragg.
And the Huskies really looking to push here. Moller with a mismatch with Nah. He's going straight down to the block.
Rammed his way in there. Moller. Oh, gee, how many times has that happened for the Huskies tonight?
Yep, and we see Wilkins right back.
Oh dear, almost from Marcel Jones, but he did well there, Wilkins.
Yeah, just a big 4-point turnaround there. Moller's shot in and out. Wilkins catches himself on the front of the ring, but still able to stick with it and roll that one in.
Suddenly the lead's back out to 12, where it was 7 at that time out. Michaels has a look at it and gets a crucial basket, Brian Michaels.
Yep, but again, it's going to now come back to the defensive end. A couple of broken plays, and we see Tolliver coming back into the game. He's been so effective tonight, just that energizer bunny. I really like what he brings to the Rams.
Jansen, didn't work for him, and now chance to cut this lead again. It's at 10. Jones goes straight on in and get that out, says Jansen.
I think the referees will just discuss whether that's an unsportsmanlike foul. No, just a regular foul there. Just happy that Moller was going for the ball there.
There's the replay. And there it is, a big block from Jonathan Jansen. So Glidden to have the passing in duties here for the Rams. 68 plays 58. We've got 5:50 left here. Again, still a long time.
Yeah, we've certainly seen the Huskies be able to put points on the board quickly. We had the game up at the Silverdome recently against the Sharks, where they were able to close that one out in some pretty amazing circumstances. So
here's Nars. He's got control of the ball. He does. 6 seconds left. Spots him up beautifully from long range, Glidden, and they nail another 3.
yeah, just so effective there. Nah knows where his teammate is. He's an elite shooting teammate in the backcourt. Finds Glidden.
Now Nichols is fouled. That one's on number 25, Tony Tolivate. So Nichols will go to the line for 2.
It's Tolivate's 4th foul as well. So this is where fouls, Brent, and free throws are going to be a big factor in this game, I think. The Rams just getting that early foul trouble in the quarter here. So the advantage certainly with the Huskies there.
So Bragg with it. Moller. Stolen. Jones, though, gets it back. And now Moller has a go from downtown. And nice rebound from Jones, but couldn't get the basket. And it looks like it's going the way of the Rams.
Yep. Just maybe off Marcel Jones, or no, Vandenberg here over the back there.
Glidden. Star tonight. Tolivate. And now Jansen. He's been hot the last few minutes.
Yep, and that's 3 3-point baskets for the Rams. A couple from Jansen, corner, 3 ball there from Glidden. As we see Billups coming back in.
Nichols goes to the base.
Again, the Huskies just out of sorts offensively.
Nichols into the big man, Vandenberg, who gets it out to Bragg. Drives on in, Jones. And big jam in the end for Vandenberg, but
Not sure the call there, whether it was a 3-second call or a travel.
Here's the
Certainly
replay.
a violation there.
There you go. Whatever happened, it's a Rams ball. And the lead now, Nashi, is 16 points. So just a little bit out of reach now, isn't it, with 4 minutes 20 on the clock.
Look, it's going to be tough. But certainly, 4 minutes, it's plenty of time. But it's just whether the momentum's with the Huskies. I think that the struggles they're having at the offensive end, they're giving up too much space at the defensive end as well. But there's certainly enough time.
Wilkins. Jansen. Forward from Moller. Moller inside the paint. Billups tipped in. No. Jansen again.
Yeah, Huskies just still.
Look at this. Oh boy. Didn't quite pay off. That would have been enormous for the Rams. And staying the way the Huskies there. Pretty exciting stuff there.
Bit of a smile between Glidden and Tolivate. That was going to be an alley-oop dunk. Just catches the back of the ring there from Glidden. It's not totally uncommon to see that actually go in on the pass.
No.
See some 2-man game here between Billups and Nichols.
Billups couldn't get it to fall. This hasn't been the Huskies' night, has it? Offensively. Glidden all by himself. No.
Again, another nice find there by him at Nard. He's attacking the basket and he's able to see back over his shoulder, opposite wing, and finds Glidden for an open 3. Still plenty of noise from the Rams bench. They're up and about and really enjoying their night here in Hobart.
Jones fouled? Yes. They are loud, aren't they? Need to be to drown out this crowd, but they're pretty quiet here at the moment. 3 minutes left and 16-point lead still to the visiting team. We're pretty happy with how they've gone tonight, Nashi, after a long trip yesterday, and big game coming up again on Saturday night in Launceston.
Yep, absolutely. But what a great challenge for the Rams, to be playing in an expanded Sal's NBL now, the opportunity to travel to Australia, and There's plenty of rumour going around. There might be another Australian-based team in next year, so that'd be a great road trip for teams to be able to come to Hobart or Launceston, and then maybe a Canberra, which is sort of where the strong rumour is that the next team might be located. So lots of great things happening, and I'm sure these guys are really enjoying the experience now with the league's expansion.
No doubt. See the shot drop there from the stripe.
I really like the connection as well between Nah and Downer. Like every time there's just a signal from the bench, he's switched on. Just, you know, such an exciting point guard. As we can see Glidden for the turnout three.
Jones. So 18-point margin now. Nichols makes the jump.
We'll see at what point, maybe in the next 30 seconds, if Anthony Stewart, you know, realises the game's out of reach, does he actually throw his bench in there and save some gas in the tank for these guys for Saturday night? It's always an interesting one. Do you want to finish the game out strong, or do you give your starting guys a bit of a break?
Nichols tipped in nicely from Vandenberg. Yeah, what would you do in that situation right now, Mark?
Look, I think there's the opportunity to save some miles on the legs of these guys. Like they're, you know, a tough contest. We're just looking at the score now, but you know, 14 points with 2 minutes. No. Be coaching to win, absolutely.
So here we go. Nah. Shot clock's at 10. And now Wilkins all by himself. He misses. Moller. Now Nichols. He's got an option for three.
Oh, he's been fouled. So that's going to be 3 free throws for Trey Nichols. So Mick Downer there, just one of the cardinal sins in basketball is fouling the three-point shooter.
Yeah, not ideal, but...
So minute 36. If you can knock all these down, it's back to an 11-point game. While it's still, yeah, a huge ask for the Huskies, it's definitely 11 points. You can do that in a minute and a half if things go right. So Nichols misses the first one.
He needed that. Wait for some sweat to be wiped off the court. So Nichols with 2 left here from the free throw line. Lands the second.
It'd be interesting to see the Huskies' strategy here. If Nichols is able to make this next one, do they get up and look to run and jump and trap in the back court, or are they just match up and contain? Looks like they're going for that option.
Yeah.
But there needs to be some sense of urgency here for the Huskies. Can't afford to let the Rams just dribble the shot clock out.
So minute 25 left in the game. 10 on the shot clock. Nah drives on in and fouled. And Jordan Vandenberg cannot believe it.
I think that's going to be the 5th on Vandenberg there. So a bit unlucky there, but Nah doing a good job of just applying pressure. We see the replay. Yeah, just perhaps it got him on the wrist. So Brian Michaels is going to check back in for the last minute 15. Guy with the ability to space the floor, knock the 3 down.
A lot of the head there from Anthony Stewart as Jordan Vandenberg wandered off, saying, job well done, I reckon.
Yep. No, again, he's been solid tonight. He's been solid the last few weeks, and really good minutes from Jordan Vandenberg recently.
Yeah, they want to be careful they don't blow this lead out. You don't want your confidence knocked around too much when you've got 2 more games against the same team in the same week. So I'd like to finish off strongly here, the Huskies, as Jones goes all the way down and tipped in by Billups.
Yep, and the Huskies have really got to get up. You can't afford to let the Rams use the full 24 seconds. See Michaels guarding Cam Glidden here.
Great defence from Michaels. And now nice pass inside. Jansen off the glass. Could
Yep,
meet
got to
it.
go quick here.
Michaels has the ball. Goes for 3. And air ball, unfortunately.
So it's going to be a Huskies ball. (67 to 79). 39 seconds left.
In it comes Moller. Nichols. 33 seconds on the clock. Margins at 12. And Billups. No. Jansen. Nah. And Tolliver. Fouled by Billups. And we'll go to the line for 2.
Some theatrics there from the Rams.
Give a laugh at the end of what's been a pretty good game for them. They'll be very happy heading up the Midland Highway tomorrow, the Canterbury Rams.
Yep, so it looks like it's going to be first blow here to the Rams, and we talked pre-game, Brent, about the importance of this series, but of game 1, so it looks like it's going to be 1-0 to the Rams.
Yeah, they need to win at least one at home, you think, the Huskies, don't you? Because it's going to be tough heading back over to New Zealand next Friday. So a lot of pressure on them to win this one at the Silverdome now on Saturday night.
Yep, and while we're talking about the battle between the Rams and the Huskies, it's also, can't afford to let 5th place. I think they've got a look in to get back in the top 4, so it's not just a 2-team battle. There's really that battle between 5 teams vying for those 4 positions.
So they're happy to let the game clock wind down here, the Canterbury Rams, and what's been a ripping night at the office for them. They win it by 11, 81 to 70. They draw first blood in this 3-game series against the Southern Huskies. A great night at the office for the New Zealanders, National.
It really was, and they controlled the game from the get-go, and for me, the key guy out there was Emmett Nah. I really loved the way he led the team. He controlled the tempo of the game. Just his poise at the offensive end allows Cam Glidden to sort of slip under the radar. And we saw a couple of backdoor cuts that he had. I also really liked the effort of Wilkins and Tolliver.
See the Huskies regroup out on the court. What will Anthony Stewart's message be? He's sitting there in deep conversation with Craig Moller.
Yeah, I'd love to be, have a listening ear into that huddle, or more importantly in the change rooms. But again, you've just got to get on with the next job now, which is the next game on Saturday night. Team's got to get around and connect with the fans. I'm sure there'll be a lot of kids down here for autographs and selfies. So, part of playing in this league is really engaging the fans, as we see the kids streaming down to the court now. So, they've got to put this one behind them now, and let's see if they can turn things around on Saturday night.
See the Rams straight into their stretching out on court. Obviously a quick turnaround, as you said. Who's your MVP tonight, Mark Nash? There's plenty to choose from. Yeah,
I'm coming back to Emmett Nah. I can't go past him. I'd love to see the final stats with his field goal percentage, but I reckon he'd be, maybe 8 of 10 or 9 of 11. He was that efficient tonight. He was on the boards with, probably close to 10 rebounds. He had 8 at three-quarter time, and his ability just to be able to find guys as well. He makes the game seems like it slows down a bit and becomes easy for guys, and we see it in all sorts of sports, whether it's cricket or Australian rules football, whatever it might be. Just players that have an ability to play at a different level, and I really like it. It's the first time I've seen Emmett Nah play live, and I really enjoyed watching him tonight.
Well, Nashy, might be the final time we hear from you this season, so thanks for your efforts here during the Hobart Games. It's been great to be alongside you, and hope you've enjoyed yourself. It's been good basketball we've seen.
No, absolutely, Brent. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and again, for all Tasmanian fans, I'll be up at the Silverdome, so I'll be in the stands myself, and really good opportunity to see elite basketball. We've seen a glimpse of the action tonight, and I think this is only going to heat up in the next couple of games between these two teams.
Looking forward to it. We'll be with you live on Saturday night from the Silverdome. Hope you can join us then. Good night. can stay with me if you want. You can stay here if you want. It's up to you.